More than 7 months after Americans started receiving the first coronavirus stimulus checks, President Donald Trump has signed legislation to approve a second round of payments to Americans. When you could get yours and how much it could be.
I think the hardest thing is trying to give people hope when they feel like there isn't, when you can't give them a resource.
There are more people in Spokane needing help for utility bills than ever before. The city of Spokane says nearly 1/3 of its customers are behind on bills by 2 months.
Our gloomy gray weather continues tomorrow, but tracking our last round of snow for 2020 for Wednesday and Thursday.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Mark Hanrahan. Whitney is off tonight. Tonight, the Spokane metro area has reached a new record of hospitalized COVID-19 patients.
We had a sobering statistic this morning. We are up to 232 hospitalized patients in the Spokane metro area as of today. That's the highest number we've had since the virus began.
As you just heard, there are currently 232 coronavirus patients hospitalized. This number also includes patients in Spokane, Spokane Valley, and Coeur d'Alene. Susan Stacy, a chief nursing officer at Sacred Heart Medical Center, said the biggest challenge hospitals in eastern Washington are facing right now is staffing. As of today, Stacy said nearly 2,000 Providence healthcare workers have been vaccinated for the coronavirus. Now to more coronavirus headlines. The Spokane Regional Health District reporting 147 new cases today. That brings the total number of cases to more than 25,000. 2 new deaths were reported today. So far, 355 people have died in the county since the pandemic began. Meantime, over in North Idaho, they are reporting 332 new cases today from over the weekend. That brings the total number of cases to 15,754 since the start of the pandemic. 6 new deaths were also reported. Currently, 99 people are hospitalized. Another 135 inmates have tested positive at the Airway Heights Correction Center since last week. In December, a total of 1,405 inmates at that prison have tested positive for COVID-19. There are more people in Spokane needing help for utility bills than ever before. In fact, the city of Spokane confirms that nearly 1/3 of its utility customers are behind on bills by 2 months. KREM 2's Amanda Rowley shares what resources are available to help those in need.
For many Spokane families, the coronavirus has taken away the ability to afford basic needs.
You know, the longer this goes on, the more it gets tighter for everybody.
The city of Spokane says the number of its utility customers who have fallen more than 2 months behind their bills has doubled since January. According to the city's data, this accounts for 1/3 of its customers.
All day long, we answer our phones with people who can't pay their rent, can't pay their electric bill, can't pay their utility bill.
Carol Welts is the director of community action at the nonprofit SNAP. She says the need for assistance has doubled since the beginning of the pandemic.
We're seeing people who've never had to have assistance before reaching out. People are in a position where there's just not a lot of resources available right now.
Early on in the pandemic, the city raised funds for the You Help program. It provides one-time energy assistance to low-income households to pay their utility bills. SNAP administers these funds, along with its own Project Share, to help families pay their energy bills. Welts says these funds are nearly depleted.
I think the hardest thing is trying to give people hope when they feel like there isn't, when you can't give them a resource, when there's not something to give. You know, we spend a lot of time listening to people's stories.
She is hopeful, though. Welts expects more funding to be available in the new year. She asks anyone needing assistance to keep an eye on SNAP's website for updates. The Salvation Army and the Spokane Resource Center can also be a resource for energy bill or rental assistance. Meantime, Welts says SNAP is looking for ways to speed up the distribution of funds to those who need it. That is, once the organization receives additional funding from the government through the CARE Acts and other sources.
So things are going to work out. There's going to be some resources. May not be as quick as we want. We probably have to jump some hoops we don't want to jump through, but it's going to work out.
And even if your balance is stacking up, a moratorium on rent is in place until the end of January. As for utility bills, it will be into March or beginning of April before any kind of shutoffs. Amanda Rowley, KREM 2 News.
And if you would like to help others pay their bills during this tough time, the City of Spokane has set up a way to donate. You can find that information on the city's website. Just visit SpokaneUtilityHelp.org. Meantime, the U.S. House has passed the Cash Act to give Americans $2,000 stimulus payments, and now its fate lies with the Senate. The increase was one of President Donald Trump's demands before he signed the government spending and COVID relief legislation last night after nearly a week's delay.
This is the time for us to take a stand for the American people. Let's vote yes.
I worry that this whopping $463 billion won't do what's needed.
The president's sudden shift on the bill brings relief to many financially strapped Americans, but his delay resulted in a one-week lapse in unemployment benefits for more than 14 million recipients. Meantime, the House has voted to override the president's veto of the critical defense bill that funds the U.S. military. And as for that relief deal, many are wondering when they might see those stimulus checks hit their bank account. There is no set date, but Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin suggested it may only take a week or so for money to start going out after the president signed off. Meantime, Washington residents who need immediate relief are also in luck today after Governor Jay Inslee announced a plan to fill in the gaps of that relief bill. The state will provide relief to about 95,000 Washington residents until the federal relief kicks in. Governor Inslee says this will be a one-time payment while residents wait for those federal benefits. If you'd like the latest news on the stimulus payments, Washington's relief payments, or information on unemployment, just text us the word money to 509-448-2000 and we'll send that information directly to your phone. Well, more bad news for Spokane's culinary community. Central Food in Kendall Yards announced it's closing permanently today, but not because of the pandemic, they said. Owner David Blaine posted the restaurant's Facebook page, posted on the page saying it is time for him to do new things. In the post, he thanked everyone from the workers to the Spokane restaurant community for the restaurant's success over the last decade. Good luck to him. All right, let's talk weather, shall we? While we still have snow on the ground from Christmas Day, it looks like another round of snow, possibly some rain moving in before the new year. Let's check in now with meteorologist Michelle Bost, who is broadcasting from home tonight. Michelle?
Yeah, the weather's certainly going to get active for the last couple of days of 2020 and going right into 2021. Now, I would love to show you some exact snowfall amounts or some numbers there, but at this point with this storm, the computer models have been kind of changing those amounts daily, and I hate to waffle, so I'm going to wait until we get a little bit closer to get a better idea. What we do know is that we are looking at heavy snow over the Cascades beginning Tuesday night and continuing into the new year. Winter storm watches are posted for both Snoqualmie and Stevens Pass. We do have the potential to see some moderate snow here in the Spokane and Coeur d'Alene area, but right now the question is whether we might see some of that snow change into rain by Wednesday afternoon, and that would certainly cut into our snowfall amounts. So hopefully we'll know better as soon as tonight, and then certainly by tomorrow how much snow we could see in the area. Right now we're just dealing with low clouds and fog, and plenty of that, which has really kept our temperatures down. At Spokane Airport, visibility is down to a half a mile, and we just could not shake the fog. For areas that did not have to see the fog, like Coeur d'Alene, Sandpoint, Moses Lake, they were stuck in the low clouds. So really almost no one saw any sunshine, with maybe the exception of Pullman out towards the Silver Valley. I know Pullman got a little bit of sunshine, but they're now socked into the fog as well. So it's going to be kind of gloomy over the next 24 hours. Right now, looking at cold temperatures, 26 degrees in Spokane, 28 in Coeur d'Alene, and below freezing out in Wenatchee, Moses Lake, even Lewiston, staying cold this afternoon. We don't expect temperatures to be quite as chilly as this morning, just because we will have that consistent cloud cover through the evening and overnight hours, but still down into the mid-20s for lows. High of only 28 tomorrow. We could see some flurries and freezing drizzle, something that might not even show up on radar, but it'll be enough to put a light glaze on the roadways tomorrow, so be aware of that. Could be slick roads, and then snow expected to move in here by Wednesday morning and continue through Thursday morning, but afternoon temperatures expected to climb above freezing into the middle 30s.
All right, Michelle, thank you very much. We'll check back in with you later in the broadcast.